What's up, guys? Welcome back to the C2C podcast. Did you know that high-ticket clients speak in a hidden language and that you can use that language to get high-ticket clients to buy your coaching? Most coaches don't know this. So that's what I'm going to share with you inside of this episode. Now, it's important before we go into the language of how you speak like them, that high-ticket clients operate in a certain way. So before I teach you these words, if we don't understand how they operate, these words, just saying them without fully understanding, they're not actually going to work on the consults or the DMs. So a high ticket client is someone who is self-led. These are the type of people who use money to trade for information or to save time. It's really for them about valuing long-term change over just like a short-term or a quick fix program, because these people are invested into long-term commitments. So in being a high-ticket client, these are people who are willing to pay more if it means that they're going to get something that's going to last long or be a permanent solution in their life. In saying this, this means that any program that sounds cheap, any program that sounds like a quick fix, or like it's going to be available to everyone, is going to be something that turns them off because they've tried that before. They probably have all of those solutions, and they're going to be looking elsewhere for something that's going to be really specific. So when we start to speak this hidden language, this language that I call ascension speak, which is where a client is going to say, oh, whoa, this coach is really invested in me long term. This is the mindset that they're coming from. They're coming from the mindset of, I really value this transformation. I really value this journey, this process. I'm prepared to go the long haul. I know it's not going to be a short-term solution. And so I want to maximize what I'm spending. I want to maximize what I'm doing so I can save time. I can feel great through the process, and I can feel excited through the process. So when we're looking at the words, it's not necessarily about speaking a certain way, but it's actually about changing some of the words that you're using currently when you're speaking to someone in the DMs or the consults. So the first word is cost. Instead of using the word cost, I want you to use the word investment. They're speaking to the same thing, but they're talking about it in a completely different way. When we think of a cost, we think of a short-term good that's expirable. So for example, how much does that coffee cost? You drink it, you take it, you spend the money, you get an immediate result, and then it's done. Whereas if we use the word investment, investment is talking about a long-term commitment. It's talking about long-term growth. People at a high level are familiar with investments that grow. So if they start to be a part of your program, or if they start to work with you, they're going to see all of the tools, all of the tips that you're going to give them, all of the guidance that you give them as a long-term solution when we use the word investment. And that being said, we also want to talk about the investment of time, the investment of energy outside of just the cost financially, because they are going to be investing in all levels. You want them to take the time to grow. We want them to take the energy in a proper way so they can catapult themselves. And so switching the word cost to investment is going to be something that's very beneficial. People look forward to investing in themselves. People don't look forward to having a cost. And the way that we change these words, by the way, before I just keep sharing with you the next words to change, is start switching this in your vocabulary everywhere. So for example, when I go out to the store, I say the same thing. I'm not like, how much does this cost? I'm like, what's the investment in this? If you start changing the verbiage outside when you're doing your day-to-day things, it's going to be easy for you to transfer these types of words inside of your consults and inside of the DMs. Now, the next word I'd recommend changing is payments. People have this thing when they hear payment, it's like they're paying off debt. It's like they're trying to basically put down like as much money as they can towards something to get it to finish up. It's a very negative word because it's associated with debt or with owing somebody. When people hear payments, they're thinking of this long drawn out thing that's going to be very difficult. High-level clients respond better to the word installments. So instead of payments, use the word installments. So it's going to be 6 monthly installments of this. When people are referring to the word installments, this is a high higher level word typically used for investing. So whenever people are working with like an investor, or they have someone looking at their portfolio, these people will set up installments that come out of their bank regularly that help contribute to growth. Installments are also referring to mortgages or bigger, higher level investments. So if your program is something that's more than $3,000 or $4,000, saying it as an installment is going to make the term sound a lot friendlier, like it's for growth, than it is for payment, like you're paying out a debt. The best part about using the word installment as well too is the word install. It means to input into your life instead of payment, which is used to pay. When we are referring to coaching in installments, this is basically a subconscious word change. When we're installing something into someone's life, it's for it not to go away. So I'm not looking for like, it's going to be 6 payments, because after the payments are done, it's over. The experience is over. Versus if it's like, hey, we're doing installments, then we can say, hey, the next set of installments are coming up, which again allows you to resell them. We're going to continue the installments this way. Does that work for you? Perfect. So it's also a way that we can start to equip people, or we can start to teach people that there's a next level of the program coming up. I love using the word installments because it's a great reframe for people that like this is going to be a part of your life moving forward, and it's a lot friendly. Higher level clients really respond to that. Now, a word that I hear a lot of coaches use, which is kind of weird for me, and there's a really easy transition, is the word upfront. People say upfront, and the challenging part about the word upfront is, especially when you're doing coaching or when someone is investing in you for a transformation, they're going to give all of this money before they get a result. And so upfront seems really apprehensive. People don't pay upfront for a car. They don't pay upfront for a house. So when you're saying like it's this much upfront, there's a better word to use for this, which is a deposit. Higher level people who invest at a higher level, people who are spending $10,000, $15,000, who are buying homes, are familiar with putting down deposits for things. Deposit is actually a word for commitment. I am basically making a commitment to you that my intention is to do this. I'm committing energy, I'm committing time, I'm committing money. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you money up front as a deposit to hold my spot, and then we will make monthly installments for the rest of it. A deposit is a sign of good faith. It's used in housing again. It's used in investments again. And so it's a higher level word that we can use for a higher level program that has a different mind frame around it. Whenever we're using these words and we're using them consecutively, or we're using them together, this is where someone is going to start saying to themselves, oh, this coach is working at a really high level. This person is working with people like me who want to continue to grow, who want to go to the next level, who are excited for long-term change and transformation, because that's what I'm putting a deposit down. I'm putting, like another word for a deposit would be a down payment. I'm putting a down payment on something with the anticipation of growth or the transformation moving forward. And so the word is very powerful, and it's not associated to like, you have to pay me up front before you go and get the result. Now, alongside deposit, you're going to get to a point in which, let's say your program is brand new, or maybe you have some limited spots that have a certain percentage off. People typically in a consult will say something like, you get it at a discount rate. A discount rate is not something that I would recommend saying to higher level people. Instead, I want you to use, which is actually, this is more of a phrase than it is like a word. So instead of saying discount rate, use founding member rate. Yes, it's okay to provide a certain percentage of like a benefit, or like like before you do a price increase. But instead of saying it at a discount cheapens your service. When people hear discount, they're hearing, I'm desperate for a sale. They're hearing there's a lot of vacancies and you're trying to fill them. They're also hearing like dollar store vibes. If you think about it, coaching shouldn't be discounted because you're not discounting the transformation and you're not discounting your service. So instead, if you want to offer something at a lower price to fill spots before you increase it, this is where we can use the term founding member rate. You can say, hey, this program is at its early stages. We're taking a few founding members, which is why the price point is as competitive as it is. And then once our founding member spots fill, we will be increasing it to this. So this is the way that you can reframe, and instead of saying discount, you're like, hey, you're getting in at an exclusive amount. This is great because what it does is it reframes high-level clients to think that they're going to get exclusivity, and they are going to get exclusivity. I'm going to be one of the first people through this process. And notice how when I framed it, I said this isn't new. You're going to be one of the founding members at this point as we continue to grow. So you're going to get the most competitive rate. You're going to get the best amount of service. We're going to be asking you how these things can grow. And then we're going to increase the price. So I'm not saying the program's new. It's so brand new that we're trying to get in cheap. Because again, they're like, I don't want something that's not tried, tested, or true. We're saying you're having the opportunity to join at a spot that's very fortunate for you. That's going to allow you to grow in a better space that's going to be really competitive financially. So a founding member rate is really good for you to say, and it encourages people to join at earlier stages. Plus, a lot of the times, if they get in at a founding member rate and they know that the price is going to increase, you can capitalize by that at the end of the program and say, hey, by the way, you can commit early a month or two before the price increase comes up, and you can get the founding member rate again for another term. That's an easy way to upsell someone or to have someone continue before the price goes up, and you can capitalize on that twice. Now, outside of changing these words, which is really about pricing, investment, understanding that people, have the ability to grow and invest in the transformation, there are going to be a few things that will come up in the consult, which maybe someone has questions or someone maybe has an objection. And naturally, you're going to say what's your objection or what is your concern? I don't like saying that because if someone may not be fully confident that that's an objection for them, or if someone may not initially have a concern up front, when you say that, do you have any concerns? Do you have any objections? They're immediately going to say, should I be concerned? Should I have an objection? And that's not something that higher level people do, because now they're going to start looking for the concerns. So instead, if we feel a hesitation, if we feel that there's something that they're not bringing to the table, this is where you get to say, I'd love to hear what's coming up for you. What's coming up in your thought process right now, which is an invitation for them to be able to then say, hey, you know what? I had a couple of questions here, or I had some concerns here. They will bring it up naturally when you ask what is coming up. And if nothing is coming up for them, they're like, actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm just thinking about it in my head, but everything sounds really good. So it's a natural way to not bring up a problem inside of the consultation and still probe if you feel that there's some level of hesitation. So this verbiage is not just to change to sign someone up at a high level. It's actually to get a high level client invested in transformation by understanding that this is all commitment based. Investment. We are investing for the long-term transformation. Down payment. We are committing to the time, the energy, and the financials required to have this long-term growth. If you start to use this inside of your consults, and you start using the words inside of the DMs, watch higher level clients put their hand up and say, I'm in. They're going to say, I'm ready, I'm invested, I'm excited. And if you need more help signing on more high ticket clients like this, this is where you have the opportunity to lean in yourself. Invest at a higher level, commit to the transformation, DM, or you can hit the link in the video to book a call with me. We'll chat about where we can continue to help you grow your business. That's what I'm here for. Thanks for watching this episode, and we'll catch you later.